Have you ever worked in the grocery space? I did in high school. And one of the things that we would do when we would come in, if we were in a department, is we would come into the department and we would look for what items on the shelves had been sold. We normally were told you want to have X amount of items, on the shelf at all times. And what we would do when we would come in, we would look for that, and then we would kind of record it down, put it on a piece of paper, and then we will go into the back room and we will pull it out. Now, we also had like a little electronic device, but one of the biggest challenges with that type of inventory is that if the person in the back room is not giving you the correct numbers, you never really know what's back there till you get back there. Therefore, I never used the electronic device when I was working in grocery. I just would always write it down on a piece of paper and then go into the back room and pull off what I needed. Because if the person in the back is not actually updating the stock properly, you don't know what's back there anyway. So you might as well go ahead and do it manually so you can make sure you pull it out. Now, that historically was what I was taught to do. And I always was under the expectation that if you work in a department, especially if you're the department manager, you know how your products sell because you've been working there long enough to kind of get an understanding of what's moving the most, what has the greatest turnover, what normally sits, and then you move inventory around based on that, right? Well, Google now says they have a solution to that problem, okay? What Google has done is created a shelf inventory AI for retailers. This is an article from the Wall Street Journal, and they use an image database of more than 1 billion products to help power the tool. We know Google Images has probably billions of images that people have uploaded to the internet, and they've also probably been able to procure images, and they'll probably now start doing this proactively, and allows them to power this tool because it's probably based on cameras. Now, Google Cloud says it's developed a new AI tool designed to help big box retailers better track inventory on the shelves, and it's aiming to improve a technology that struggled to work well in the past, and I talked about before. When I was working in grocery in high school, we had an electronic device. The challenge was if the person in the back room wasn't doing the inventory properly, that device it couldn't help you. It would give you back bad data because we were still dependent upon a person inputting the data correctly. And what I really think we need is really RFID chips on every item. And I don't think that is cost effective. And I think that's why we're still trying to figure out a way to get around that. Because with the RFID chip on every item, as the item moves around the store and then leaves the store, it can automatically be updated in a database. So Google said on Friday its algorithm can recognize and analyze the availability of consumer packaged goods on shelves from videos and images provided by the retailers' ceiling mounted cameras, camera equipped self-driving robots, or store associates. So the story, which is now in preview, will become broadly available in the coming months. Having that information is supposed to help retailers pad their lines in a multiple of ways, going to help them replenish out-of-stock items faster and lose fewer sales opportunities, according to Google's Vice President of Retail and Consumer. And the idea of computer vision-enabled self-checking technology has been around for several years. It's not taken off in that time, and it's because retailers have been deterred by the cost and complexity of large-scale camera deployment. Now, to get a better idea of how this technology solution is supposed to work and how this process is actually supposed to work, here's a video put out by Google and a developer that can give a better understanding of what solution this is supposed to provide in the space.
Have you ever left the grocery store without that one item you were looking for? This inventory and supply chain problem troubles retail store owners every day. In 2021, 7.4% of sales were not realized due to out-of-stock or out-of-shelf items, costing retailers $82 billion annually. With the power of 66 Degrees' Edge Vision, Retail Accelerator, and Google's Distributed Cloud Edge, retail managers can deploy cutting-edge machine learning intelligence to detect and learn about out-of-stock and low-stock items, thereby enabling real-time inventory management. Small cameras are securely attached along each row in a grocery store, intelligently capturing shelving images when needing to assess stock issues, including misplaced items. A manager, Cecily, can readily oversee inventory on a tablet or smartphone. The Edge Vision app will alert Cecily via push notifications. Uh-oh, it looks like crackers are out of stock. She can take action directly from the app to snooze notifications, replenish items with inventory in store, or mark the item as reorder required. Cecily can view the image from the time the item was identified as out of stock. For reference, she can scroll and see what a fully stocked shelf should look like. Sounds great. So how does it work? 66 Degrees' Edge Vision Retail harnesses the power of several machine learning models, both in the cloud and at the edge, utilizing CDC Edge Config 2 with multiple CPUs and NVIDIA T4 GPUs. We combine this with BigQuery and GKE to visualize and generate insights from the ML models, which are accessible by management using Looker dashboards. When the system notices movement, it takes a picture and runs it through the Edge ML model. The system then determines if shelf items are in or out of stock or if they are misplaced. Notifications are sent to the appropriate staff based on the results. The result aims to locally process multiple concurrent camera inputs without consuming all available network bandwidth, while still providing very low latency results. The solution concept can be applied to manufacturing, worker safety, and other industry business challenges. 66 Degrees' Edge Vision Retail Accelerator takes you to the leading edge of customer satisfaction. Let's get you there.
Now, this Google Cloud product has shown a 90% accuracy during tests in something called the John Eagle Innovation Lab, which is like a sandbox designed to replicate store conditions. Okay, so that was high enough to generate interest from the supermarket chain, right? But not high enough for the company to consider deployed at scale. The supermarket chain says it plans to pilot the technology in actual stores to get it out of the sandbox environment, put it in the store over the next several months. But they said that deployment across the full chain would take several years to come to fruition. I've never heard of John Eagle, but I know that grocery stores are very much regional. And one of the reasons why they're not really looking for a full rollout is because of the high degree of expense. Camera visibility in every shelf on every aisle. And we saw this in the video. They're literally going to put, if not one, but multiple cameras on every aisle. Is a complicated and expensive proposition. So Mr. Huetu, if I pronounced that correctly, says he expects investment in self-checking technology to continue because of the growing need to digitize the in-store experience. That won't happen overnight. It could take 3 to 6 years for computer vision self-checking to become more mainstream. I think this is a very interesting proposition to have this type of technology available. However, my question is, what is going to be the cost? What would be the cost to maintain it? And then does it really provide a real solution? If you're working in a particular department store or a grocery store, in my opinion, you should know what items are moving in your store based on the department that you're in. And then you should be able to go into your department and see, well, historically, we normally sell this out faster. I knew when I was working in grocery, you know, the little ramen noodles, right? Those things would fly, right? We always was waiting to get those off the truck because as soon as we brought them in, they would sell out in like 2 to 3 days. And then we would get another truck of them, they would sell out. Those things flew out of the store. You have some cereals that never sell, right? We literally have to give it away or throw it away as it gets closer to the expiration date, mark it down, try to move it. You have other cereals that fly out of the store. And if you work in a department, you kind of start to understand what moves really fast and what other stuff doesn't move fast. I know all of the soft drink vendors, they know what soft drinks are going to sell relatively well and what other ones don't sell. You just learn that from experience. However, I guess they believe that this is going to be a solution to where maybe you can use the device to get the most up-to-date information without having to physically be in the store. But my question is, if you're in the store, why you just can't walk to the aisle? Is it that big of a deal to where I'm at the front of the store? I want to know whether or not the milk is selling. I don't want to walk to the back of the store to the refrigerator aisle. So what I do is I look at my app at the front of the store. We still got to walk back there to fill it up. So I don't really get how this really provides a real solution, but it may just not be for me. Hope you got some value from it. David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. Talk to you later.